value for money and practicality central to its proposition. The 5-door Ford Ka Plus not only replaces the Ka 3-door, but also less expensive versions of the slightly larger Fiesta. It's not the only supersized city car on the market, however, with sensible 5-door rivals coming in the form of the Hyundai i10, Kia Picanto and Vauxhall Viva. The Spartan Dacia Sandero is also available for a similar price and offers an even greater amount of space. So why would you want the Ka Plus over the Fiesta, or the numerous affordable alternatives? Ford states that this new car prioritizes functionality, high levels of equipment and fuel efficiency while remaining fun to drive. And it feels like a substantial car for the money. Ford's entry-level model has grown while some small cars focus on style with endless personalization options from zany patterns to lurid paint and bright interior trim. The Ka Plus is a much more serious prospect. It doesn't aim to compete with rivals in the design stakes but instead has neat and tidy styling inside and out and plenty of standard kit. It's also much bigger than its Fiat 500-based predecessor, giving little away to the Fiesta in terms of length, meaning there's more space for passengers and their luggage. A pair of rear doors also increases the Ka Plus's flexibility and sense of value. Only 2 engines and 2 trims. Though Ford is known for offering countless versions of most of its cars, the Ka Plus is not one of them. Just 2 1.2-liter petrol engines are available, with 2 specifications offered. Base Studio trim comes only with the less powerful 70-horsepower motor, while Zetec trim is available with 70 horsepower and 85 horsepower power plants. Fuel economy for both models is identical, although a number of rivals offer lower claimed fuel consumption, meaning that if you want the most economical small car, this isn't it. On the other hand, in 85 horsepower form the Ka Plus is one of the faster city cars. At this end of the market many cars feel like they've had equipment stripped out to cut the price. With just 2 specification levels on offer, this is not the case with the Ka Plus. Even the basic car includes Bluetooth, an alarm and a trip computer plus a handy speed limiter and hill start assist. Those after an automatic gearbox, however, will be disappointed, as just a 5-speed manual is available with both engines. Ford Ka Plus hatchback model history June 2016, replacing the Fiat 500-based 3-door Ka. The 5-door Ka Plus is available to order with first deliveries in September. Practicality and value are now the key factors, with just 2 trim levels, Studio and Zetec, available with 70 horsepower and 85 horsepower versions of the same 1.2-liter TVCT petrol engine. January 2017, limited availability Zetec Black Edition and Zetec White Edition launched with the more powerful 85 horsepower engine. The Black Edition has tuxedo black bodywork with contrasting frozen white roof and mirror caps, the White Edition the opposite way around. Both have 15-inch black alloy wheels and rear privacy glass. Read the full Ford Ka Plus hatchback review to find out why this small model punches well above its weight. 1 petrol engine, 2 power outputs. Neither goes particularly quick. 5-speed manual is the only gearbox whichever model of Ford Ka Plus you plump for. Its limited performance is served up by a non-turbocharged petrol engine sending power to the front wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox. The Ka Plus is light on power, but thankfully light on weight too. As a result, the 1.2-liter TVCT 85 horsepower model is reasonably sprightly for this class of car, accelerating from a standstill to 62 miles per hour in 13.3 seconds and keeping going to 105 miles per hour around town. The engine is smooth and pulls well from low engine speeds, while the light, progressive clutch makes this an easy car to drive slowly. You will have to make full use of the engine's rev range to keep up with faster traffic on the motorway, as it takes a while to build up speed, though. With around 20% less muscle, the 70 horsepower version of the same engine lags behind the more powerful Ka Plus, requiring a lengthy 15.3 seconds to hit 62 miles per hour. Both models have a similar amount of pulling power, meaning the lesser engine is more capable than the figure suggests, with just a small price difference between 70 horsepower and 85 horsepower models, Many buyers will be tempted to opt for the more powerful version, as it's likely to feel a little happier on dual carriageways and motorways, especially if you work the engine hard when it outpunches its less powerful sibling. Keener drivers should enjoy the COP Plus. Light steering is perfect for city driving. Tackles motorways with ease. The Ford Fiesta is one of the tidiest handling superminis around, and with so much Fiesta DNA crammed into the COP Plus, it's no surprise that it takes corners with such enthusiasm. Not only is it simple to drive, but it's more enjoyable than most cars of this price. The steering, which is nicely light and direct at low speeds, manages to inspire confidence at higher velocities, with a good level of weight around bends. Throw in controlled but comfortable suspension, and this makes the COP Plus surprisingly sharp around corners, while proving very stable on the motorway. With its small dimensions and tight turning circle, the COP Plus is easy to place on the road and should be easy enough for most drivers to park. The chunky steering wheel and stubby gear lever fall nicely to hand, adding to the sense of control from behind the wheel. Dark, uninspiring interior feels well built and robust. Multimedia packages pour. The interior of the COP Plus is very dark and plain. All the materials feel solid and built to last, but there's none of the chic design details that models like the style-centric Fiat 500 get, or even those of the Citroën C1 and Peugeot 108. With black seat fabric, black dashboard plastics and glossy piano black trim, the COP Plus S cabin is a pretty uninspiring place to be, though the materials do feel surprisingly plush. The layout of controls and build quality are fine, but there are no imaginative details to make you smile. Function firmly ranks over form here. Even the speedometer looks very dated and drab, especially for this class of car, where manufacturers are constantly upping their game with new ways for buyers to jazz up both the interior and exterior of their cars. No sat-nav system is available on the COP Plus, meaning that the standard media system is very basic compared with rivals including the Peugeot 108, which has a large, bright 7.0-inch touchscreen system. Even top-spec Zetec COP Plus models only get a small 4.2-inch screen. Ride quality is surprisingly good. Plenty of cabin space for four. Too little exterior noise to gripe about. The COP Plus may best rivals with its impressive road holding, but it also scores well for comfort. There's plenty of space in both rows, and the seats themselves offer much greater back support than you'd expect for such an affordable car. These well-padded seats mean that you should be able to get out after a long journey without any aches and pains. The suspension also soaks up bumps effectively. Helping to make the COP Plus suitable for more than just city car duties is its smooth suspension and decent refinement levels, while low levels of wind and road noise mean that it didn't feel out of place on the motorways we experienced during our assessment. Thankfully, the engine remains reasonably hushed at speed too. Just two standard COP Plus trims. Equipment levels are reasonable. Options are few and far between. Ford's kept things simple with a toadier trim structure for the COP Plus, Studio and Zetec. Standard Ford COP Plus hatchback equipment. Studio models include 15-inch steel wheels with wheel covers, electric front windows and door mirrors, an AM/FM radio with a smartphone dock, and Bluetooth and USB connectivity. Also included are front fog lights, a speed limiter function to prevent you from inadvertently speeding, hill start assist, plus a trip computer and an alarm. Stepping up to Zetec trim gets you 15-inch alloy wheels, manual air conditioning, a digital radio with a 4.2-inch screen in addition to cruise control. Ford's MyKey safety system is also standard. This lets parents set a maximum speed and audio volume level for their children when driving, with these settings saved within one of the keys, encouraging young drivers to drive responsibly. Optional Ford COP Plus hatchback accessories. The COP Plus may skimp on personalization options, such as two-tone paint options and bespoke interior finishes, but there are a handful of ways to tailor it to your specific needs. Bright yellow is the only standard color, with metallic paint being separated out into premium shades and even more expensive exclusive hues. Choose a Zetec, and rear privacy glass can be added, as can climate control and heated front seats. The Zetec can also be upgraded with the City Pack, comprising of rear parking sensors, power folding door mirrors and electric rear windows. Only 3 stars when tested by Euro NCAP. Chest protection and area of concern. 6 airbags and stability control are standard, unlike the Fiesta, upon which it's based, that scored top marks for safety. When the Ford Ka Plus was crash tested by Euro NCAP, it disappointingly only scored 3 stars. The organization specifically cited the lack of autonomous emergency braking technology and poor chest protection for front seat occupants as areas for concern. Still, there are 6 airbags fitted as standard, along with electronic stability control and an emergency assistance function that alerts the emergency services in the event of a crash. Helping to boost safety are a speed limiter on all models, along with Hill Start Assist and Ford's My Key feature, explained above. All UK models also get a perimeter alarm in an attempt to boost security. Plenty of space for people and luggage. 5 doors only for this generation. Plethora of cubbies for cabin detritus. Space is high on the Ford Ka Plus' list of priorities. There's room for 4 6-footers, but what's more impressive for a car of this price is the seats. Both rows offer good back support, making it a comfortable car for longer journeys. You should be able to fit 5 passengers in at a push, too. Boot space is pretty good for the size of car, too, at 270 liters, just 20 liters less than the Fiesta. This beats the Hyundai i10's figure of 252 liters and the Vauxhall Viva at 206 liters. The larger Dacia Sandero does offer greater loading space, though. There's plenty of cubby holes for cans, bottles and umbrellas scattered around the cabin, meaning that the Ka Plus could easily be your only car, rather than simply being fit for commuting or short urban journeys.